Hello and welcome to another needlit video. This one is about acupuncture meridians and acupuncture points. As I mentioned before, in the body we have 12 officials, as Chinese refer to them, 12 organs as we know them, that make, move and store electricity, energy in the body. Chinese call electricity qi, energy. But it's basically the equivalent of electricity. So this life force that moves through the body is generated, stored, and moved around by officials. And these 12 organs that do that are recognized in only 10 of these 12 are recognized in the West. The other two I mentioned before and explained a little bit about their function are pericardium and triple heater. Number 5 and number 6 in Chinese theory, in order of things, of flow in the body. So these 12 organs, what they do is they define us on every level. They define who we are on physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and sexual level. So all of our well-being is dependent, according to theory, on these 12 officials, on their performance. When they are not well, when they become deficient, what we see is specific symptoms that Chinese have explained, they understood, explained, and passed on to us. So why is this important, and why should we pay attention to this? Is because we can actually see where the deficiencies are just by understanding this theory. It's not that complicated. It is not that complex. It's all encompassing. It's very holistic, but it's very logical. It's very difficult to see any logical challenges there, like any inconsistencies. I haven't seen any in many years that I've been exposed to this. So the way it works basically is that these organs, they define us on every level, and when they become deficient, we start seeing symptoms related to one of these 12 officials. So I gave this example in the past video of triple heater, which is the organ that that manages not just the temperature in the body, but the humidity of the body. It basically regulates, it heats up and cools down the body so it can manage the humidity and the temperature of the body. And the fact that triple heater does that job on its own is just stunning, because I mean, if you think about it, how often do we see anybody struggling with managing their temperature? It's a very unusual kind of situation. So in most of us, you enter a room that is very cold, you enter a freezer somewhere in the industrial space, and your body just adjusts. You step outside and it's a hot summer day and your body just adjusts. And we're talking about plus minus 1 degree. Plus minus 1 degree Celsius. That is how perfect that mechanism is. But triple heater doesn't just do that. Triple heater on other levels gives us ability to connect with other people. Triple heater is one of the 4 organs assigned to fire element, and it's basically, it governs all of our connections to other people, such as neighbors, such as friends, such as family, such as co-workers. So every social connection is governed by triple heater, except for the intimate relationship. So it's just an example of triple heater giving us access to other talents, not just managing our own temperature. And so it goes for every one of the organs. So every organ has a electric conductor, has a pathway of energy. We refer to them as meridians, and every organ has a meridian that covers some part of the body. And these meridians, when you look at the whole map of the human body, they cover every point, every single part of the human body is covered by these meridians. So why this is important is because just like we need blood to access all cells of our body, we need electricity to come to every point of the body. So that's what these conductors do. They pass electricity through the body and radiate it into the surrounding tissues. This is very logical and very easy to understand when you look at patterns in human health. When you look at how humans behave, how humans age. As we age, we know that bladder and kidney weaken, right? We see symptoms of that sometimes in the middle part of our life. We start seeing issues with bladder and kidney. So issues would be lack of willpower, being difficult to warm up, cold hands and feet, starting to pee at night as we age. People start peeing at night, and we normalize it. We say, oh, that's a part of life, is that you start waking up to pee at night one time, then a few years later 2-3 times per night. But many people report this. But as we age, we also see a very consistent sign of aging is weakening of a human back. And weakening of human back is directly proportional to the health of bladder. So when bladder is healthy, bladder and kidney, they're partners. They are assigned to water element. When bladder is healthy, bladder is the only meridian that covers the human back and feeds its tissues, its skin, muscles, tendons, ligaments, bones with energy. So when that meridian flows properly, we see straight back, we see good posture. And as we age, we see that people have a tendency to do this. And same thing, as you start making your bladder and kidney stronger, giving them more power, your back starts straightening up with no exercise. This is just the function of health. When we're healthy, we have good posture. So this is something that is very mechanical, and Chinese observed these things many thousands of years ago. And so basically what we're trying to do is trying to understand, if we did this, if we understood how these organs impact our well-being on different levels, which is very accessible. It's available online. You can gain access to that information easily. You can actually start managing your health much better. You can start seeing where the deficiencies are before you do, or you need to do any blood test or any other an MRI or CT scan to see what's going on and why am I behaving the way I'm behaving. So this is just a little plug-in for acupuncture and learning about it. So how do these meridians operate? Chinese say that there is a body clock. I covered this in another video already, but briefly, this theory says that energy in our body runs on a 24-hour cycle and runs through the same number of organs in the same order for every single person. So the cycle starts at 11 a.m. with heart, which is organ number 1. Then energy moves at 1 p.m. to small intestine, which is organ number 2. Then at 3 p.m. to bladder, 5 p.m. to kidney, and so forth. So as energy flows through the body, we're being satiated. All tissues are being satisfied and being fed with what they need to operate. So how does acupuncture work now? We have the Chinese identified points on every meridian. Every meridian has a different number of points. Longer meridians, more points. Shorter meridians, less points. Bladder meridian, the longest one that covers the human back. It starts in the corners of the eye, goes over our head, goes down to the bottom of our back, comes back up on the top of the back, and goes down straight down, following just a vertical line down to our calves, and then sideways to the little toes, to the pinky toes. So it's the longest one, 67 points in all. So every organ has a meridian with points. We have 12 organs, 12 officials, and then in acupuncture there are also 2 additional main meridians, and they are the main yang meridian, which runs from the perineum to the chin crease on the front, on the midline, on the front of the body, and then the main yang meridian, the governor vessel, which runs from the bottom of coccyx, the tailbone, up your back, over your head to the inside of the mouth. It's the only acupuncture point in the body that can be needled. So these are the 2, the yin and yang meridians, along with these 12 organ meridians. Those are the 14 main meridians in the body. There are other meridians. There's another 8 meridians that we use that are used as needed, but basically acupuncturists focus on these 14 meridians. So along the meridian there are a number of points. So these points are identified as per specific function. They have a specific function, specific purpose for which they would be used. So each point has indications, which essentially the symptoms that we use the point for, and it has its functions. And when we look at one of the points, heart 3 is located here on the elbow crease, on the inside of the elbow crease. So heart 3 points are called by their organ and then the number along the organ pathway. So number 3 indicates it's after 2 and before 4, and it can be any different location following the meridian, the pathway of the organ. So each point has a name, and that name indicates its use, its purpose. So for heart 3, the name is little c. It's a water point. Every organ pathway, organ meridian, organ highway, and energy highway has points that match all 5 elements. So on every pathway there will be a fire point, earth point, metal point, water point, wood point on all of them. So in this case, this is a water point on fire meridian. Heart is a part of 4 organs that are assigned to fire element. So what do we use a water point on fire but to calm down the fire of the official, the heart. Heart is also referred to as the supreme controller. So basically we have the name that will point to its use, to its function. And then we also have indications. Indications, like I said, they're basically symptoms. So when do we use this point? So we would choose this point over other points when there is a situation where there's cardiac pain, there is numbness down the arm, there may be trembling of a hand, or coldness in fingers, the symptoms that come up pretty often. Sudden lack of a loss of voice or disorientation, even seizures are treated with little c, with heart 3. So people focus on this. People focus on indications, on symptoms that we treat. But to me, it is more important to understand the function. It's more important to understand why do I want this point, because the key is not in treating the symptom. Key in the West, we are almost like mechanics. We specialize on one organ, and then we just look at that organ, replace it if possible at all, or how do I get it back to work, without understanding that the whole thing works together, that you cannot isolate that organ from its energy resources, from the blood flow, from its environment. So instead of focusing on indications and focusing on symptoms, I think it's really the point is really to focus on what is the function. The function of this point, heart 3 specifically, is to restore the official, to restore the chi of the official, to calm down and stabilize the spirit of the person. Now, these are the much more powerful ways to treat than just trying to remove the symptom. Focusing on how do I remove the trembling of the hand. When I can bring ease to the person, that's the point that I want to use. So that's the point that I want to use to build up the official. And then when all of these 12 officials are strong enough, we see good performance. We keep forgetting that it is impossible. There's no way that any one doctor could ever tell the body what to do and know what the body needs to do better than the body itself. So health is all about bringing well-being to officials, bringing, giving the body everything it needs, and that is when we start seeing health re-emerging. We see health as a as a as a common thing. So just last thing to mention regarding acupuncture meridians, officials meridians and points, is that when we treat, we want to treat with minimal amount of points. We really want just minimal intervention. We want to build up the weaknesses rather than tell officials, you have too much, give it to somebody else, move it around. There are resources for that. Every meridian has an entry and exit point that is used for that. Every meridian has accumulation points, junction points. Every meridian has tonification and sedation points, so we can manipulate. Acupuncture gives access to all of that, but fundamentally the main way to health is really just building up the body using horary points. For instance, every meridian has horary points, so this is the point that you use at the specific time for the specific organ, so specific time of the day. So that's the intro into acupuncture, organs, meridians, and points. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and also click that notification bell, and I hope to see you around. Have a wonderful day.